Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna everyone. So thank you for coming in for this special occasion of Srila Prabhupāda Vyāsa Pūja. So it's the after day of Sri Janmashtami. So that's why you see the toll over here, because we were here till yesterday morning or today morning 2 o'clock. So celebrating Janmashtami yesterday. So, but it's a special occasion for devotees of here in ISKCON, because it also happens to be appearance day of Srila Prabhupada. Okay. So before I want to discuss, I just wanted to check if anyone is there for first time. Are you for first time? Okay. What are your names? Names? Sridhar Gaur. Okay. Sojo. Akshara. Abhinav. Okay. You are from which place?
From Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. Okay. Telugu Vada. Okay. Okay. Is this the first time you are coming to ISKCON in general, or you have been to ISKCON back in Hyderabad?
We used to go in Bangalore. I visited once in Bangalore.
Okay.
And we are first time.
Okay, fine. So, how many of you know who is Srila Prabhupada? No? Seen him? Okay, very nice. There? Good. So, actually, a few weeks back, we had been to London. Okay, my son wanted to visit Madam Tussauds. So if you go to Madam Tussauds, you see prominent figures who have influenced the society. They are wax figures. And you see so many people, surrounding their figures, their popular celebrities, and taking up photos with them. And so when I went along with my son Nikunj, he wanted to take picture from Sachin Tendulkar, and that's it. He didn't have anybody else to link up with. So the whole tour was about 1.5 hours. I couldn't relate myself to any of the wax figures over there. Some of them were even strange. We didn't know who were there. But when I was thinking about it, there are a lot of people tend to relate to different celebrities who have influenced them, right? So linking back the same thing, I thought about what's happening in ISKCON, because if you go to any ISKCON temple, we have the deities of the Lord. Apart from the deities, we do have the deity of Srila Prabhupada. So it's like almost a life-size figure. And for anyone who is connected to Prabhupada, it is just not a figurine, but it is a real representation. We can be able to connect with him, and we can feel his presence everywhere in ISKCON temples, right? So that's why, though Madam Tussauds may not have Srila Prabhupada over there, but ISKCON temple all over world have Srila Prabhupada, just to represent how impactful he has been in the lives of many people, right? So being the theme, so we will discuss, I will briefly discuss about how Srila Prabhupada as a person was, and maybe touch upon some pastimes of Srila Prabhupada. And so that's why I have titled today's class or lecture as Srila Prabhupada as he is. So Srila Prabhupada had a big task. So those who know, those who have Bhagavad Gita, right? At the 29th page of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada gives a list of names. Okay. The speciality of these names the first name in this particular list of names is Lord Krishna. Right? And in the line of names, it's like Krishna, Brahma, Narada, Vyasa. And the 32nd person is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Right? So what does that mean? So what is that Prabhupada is trying to convey? Right? So in chapter 4 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Evam Parampara Prapta. So basically, Krishna is telling one can obtain devotional service only through the mercy of the disciplic chain. So, if anybody knows about some aspect of Sanatana Dharma or Vedic knowledge, we see that the knowledge has been transferred from one person to other through disciplic succession. That is a Guru Sishya, right? So, Krishna specifically says one can only obtain the mercy or devotion only through this chain. Right? So, Krishna, there are 4 major principal sampradayas, that is Sri Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya, and Rudra Sampradaya. Right? So, Srila Prabhupada comes in the Brahma Sampradaya, where Brahma is the principal receiver. That's why the second person in the list is Lord Brahma receiving the knowledge from Krishna. So at that time when Prabhupada came, the most important aspect for him as a guru was trying to represent the knowledge given by Krishna to Brahma as it is. Right? So the famous example is because he saw there were n number of Bhagavad Gitas having their own literation, translations. Famous example is the Mahatma Gandhi's quote, right? So Mahatma Gandhi says, the greatest teaching, what he obtained from Bhagavad Gita was ahimsa, right? Yet, it is contradicting because if Krishna was actually portraying ahimsa, he would have said Arjuna to leave the battle, right? But Krishna is telling Arjuna to establish dharma, and for that reasons he need to fight the war. Doesn't matter what happens, but he needs to do his duty and fight the war. So in this way, there are so many versions of Bhagavad Gita with having their own kinds of meanings. So you can see so many Bhagavad Gitas coming, Bhagavad Gita for business management, Bhagavad Gita for students, Bhagavad Gita for some other purposes. But there is a requirement for understanding Bhagavad Gita as it is. The second issue what Srila Prabhupada faced was, there were other gurus from authorized sampradayas like Madhavacharya, Ramanujacharya, etc., who did give a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, but that was in pure Sanskrit. Right? So if you see Madhavacharya's commentary, it was detailed in Sanskrit, and nobody knew Sanskrit. Right? So Prabhupada had to ensure that he brought up an authentic version of Bhagavad Gita, which not only gave the true meaning but also was understandable by major chunk of population, right? So that's why he titles the Bhagavad Gita what he commentaries as Bhagavad Gita as it is, right? And if you open Bhagavad Gita, you take any sloka, the attempt what he has made is, he gives a sloka, he gives word by word meaning, and he gives a translation of the word of the sloka, and he gives a detailed commentary of the meaning of that particular sloka, how you need to understand it, not how your mind may think, understand, or how a vague person may understand. So the reason why I am trying to convey over this message is, if you see the photo background, on the top, Prabhupada spent a lot of time just to develop these commentaries, right? If you see his lifestyle, he used to get up early in the morning by, let's say, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. He used to have his japa done. He used to attend these Mangalarti programs, organize, develop temples, because we didn't have temples across globe. And later on, he used to sit in the night from 10 o'clock until about 2 o'clock in the morning. He used to give commentaries. That's why you can see on the picture, on the right hand side, Prabhupada is giving a dictation on his desktop phone even in the night. And he didn't do it for just 1 year or 2 years, right? He just gave translation of Bhagavad Gita, he gave translation and commentaries of Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Purana on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? And the age at which he gave, it was about 67 years old. Not old yet, 67 years old. So after having a long day, we want to go and sleep, but he wanted to give Krishna consciousness as it is. The true meaning of what Krishna wanted to give to Arjuna. And the best part is, he didn't restrict this. He didn't restrict that only one sect of people have to read this Bhagavad Gita. He made this available to all humanity, irrespective of the gender, race, culture, religion, etc. Right? So now, Bhagavad Gita as it is one of the most popular religious books, which has been sold exclusively in, I guess, more than 100 languages now. Right? So all these efforts was only possible by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupāda Vyāsa. So, if you read Prabhupada's life history, he had a very amazing life history, first of all. The thing is, he met his guru at very young age. But at the young age, he got an instruction from his guru that there are many sannyasis, swamis available in India, but the real transcendental knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is not available in Western countries. Right? Before Srila Prabhupada, it was only Swami Vivekananda who had come. So, before Srila Prabhupada, it was only Swami Vivekananda who had been to Western countries. But he had his own agenda. He wanted to popularize Hinduism rather than distributing Bhagavad Gita. So, Prabhupada was instructed by his Guru Maharaj or his Guru to go and spread the word of Bhagavad Gita or Sanatana Dharma to Western countries. So, when he was mid-20s or 24s, he got this instruction. But as soon as he got instructed, he took up a household life, a grihastha ashrama, and he was always striving hard to venture or try to gather resources where he can go to US, because US was the hub of flourishing Western countries there, right? Everyone wanted to go to US. So he wanted to go to US and he wanted to preach, to Western people, and eventually, because he thought if Westerners could take it, then Indians will take it. The reason was he used to go on streets of India holding books of Bhagavad Gita and telling to people, please read about Bhagavad Gita. Indians had this tendency, I guess even we have tendency even now, that we think we own Krishna, we own Rama, we own Sanatana Dharma. As soon as we get told, Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna, I know Krishna. Don't worry, I know Krishna. Or we go to Rama, I know Rama. But when do you want to take Rama, Lord Krishna's teaching? Maybe at the end of my life. We go, we have a big photo of Krishna, big photo of Rama, we do Deepa, and we say, Krishna, we want a nice car, nice bungalow, nice job, But we don't really connect to the teachings of Krishna. What Krishna wanted us to do, what Rama wanted us to do. And this is not the present situation. It was in fact from long time when Prabhupada, as an old man, walking around the streets in Kolkata and all, trying to distribute Bhagavad Gita, nobody took it. In fact, he makes a writes a letter to Lal Bahadur Shastri, who was then Prime Minister, to say the necessity of introducing Bhagavad Gita into the educational curriculum. But yet, by the time that was implemented, unfortunately Lal Bahadur Shastri passes away. So eventually he doesn't have any choice. So he becomes old, he's about 65 years, 67 years old, and he's still craving, or he's still thinking how he can satisfy his guru's order, right? So then, after arranging so many things, he couldn't afford a plane ticket then. So then he arranges a ticket to travel by a ship, right? This ship's name is Jaladuta. This was a cargo ship, not even a passenger ship. And in the cargo ship, they had some extra rooms available for persons to go. And he made this arrangement, got some visas sponsored from unknown persons from US. And the person from US was not even expecting a old sadhu will turn up, right? But Prabhupada was determined. So he goes, he carries 2 suitcases, right? You know what's in there in 2 suitcases? It's not Bhagavatam. He has his Bhagavatam translated, few sets of copies of Bhagavatam, and few pairs of his old sannyasi clothes. And he had $8, right? And he never knew anyone, single person in US. So look at the determination for this person. He doesn't know anyone in US. And he could have easily sat in Vrindavana or Jagannath Puri, meditated on the Lord, he would have got liberated and have gone back. It was not necessary for him to do. But just for the sake of humanity, he travels in Jaladuta. In a ship, not even a plane, like 10 hours flight. This is about 7 days journey across the vast Atlantic Ocean, which is known for its, high waves, winds, etc. And something happens on the ship, right? A 67-year-old person got 2 heart attacks. 67-year-old, 2 heart attacks in midst of Atlantic Ocean on a cargo ship. and he's traveling to a place, he doesn't know who, no one to care him for, etc. And in his luggage he has few sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. This man is crazy, isn't it? You know, he's crazy. Why should he go? If I have a headache, I'll go sleep in my house. You know. But this man, 67 years old, going by a cargo ship, has 2 heart attacks. And during that time, he composes a song. You know, he composes a song called Krishna Tava Punya Bhavya. So he's praying to Krishna. Krishna, what is the reason why are you sending me across this thing? Okay? It's a very nice composition what Srila Prabhupada writes. It's about 9 stanzas. But there is one stanza which struck me a lot. And the translation of that stanza is over here. I will repeat that. Although my Guru Maharaja ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am unworthy to do it. You know, listen carefully what he's telling. He's telling, I am unworthy to do it. You know, those who are coming to US, UK, you know, to carrying dreams, you know, who are come here for getting jobs, getting education, we all feel we are worthy, right? When I came to UK also, I had the same thing. I am a worthy person, I can do some education, etc. But this person is expert who has written commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, right? And is praying to Krishna, is saying, I am unworthy to do it. Right? He's saying, being fallen and incompetent. Just imagine a person who has taken sannyasatvam or a oath to renounce his material grihastha life, is chanting a regulated life. He has given great commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, and yet he is praying to Krishna that I am unworthy to do it, being very fallen and incompetent. One might think, okay, this is just for the sake he is writing, right? No, it's common things, you know, if you see a music composer, Bollywood songs, etc., they write nice filmy songs which can touch our heart, etc. Right? But the situation in what Prabhupada is writing is not sitting under a tree, looking at mountains, composing something. Right? He is in a ship which is waving up and down, having 2 heart attacks, and he is praying this. So it's a genuine feeling what Srila Prabhupada is exhibiting. And he says, that being the case, O Lord Krishna, your mercy is today arising in befitting manner to make me become worthy, for you are the wisest of all. So he is giving the entire glorification to Lord Sri Krishna, but he is genuinely feeling himself to be unworthy, incompetent and very fallen. So this was the natural feelings of Srila Prabhupada arise in his heart. And after praying this thing, he goes to sleep, meditating upon Krishna, and he has this wonderful dream. The dream was the entire Jaladuta was actually guarded by different avatars of Krishna. Right? This is the dream he got, where all the avatars, all the gurus, and protected by Narsimha. And he gets the dream that you have been taken care of. Okay? It is said after that particular day, the Atlantic Ocean was the most peaceful. Right? Even the captain, who had a rich history of taking the ship across for so many times, he says he has never seen Atlantic Ocean being so calm. Right? So, This was the blessing what Lord Krishna gave to Prabhupada. The only reason being is he was genuinely interested in carrying out the order of his Guru, and that too for the well-being of all the humanity of getting the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Right? So once he is in US, he didn't go to a posh hotel or big Indian community or somewhere else. Okay? He chose to live amidst hippies, not for having drugs, not for having illicit relations, etc., for making them Vaishnavas, to convert hippies to top-notch personalities of being a Vaishnava. Right? So those who have read Prabhupada Leelamrita, right, and those who have not read it, please read it. And those who have read it again. The reason is you will cry. You will cry just seeing how this old man in his saffron dhotis walking across the streets of New York and America, trying to set up a temple of Lord Krishna. Right? He is amidst drug addicts. He is amidst hippies who are taking LSDs. LSDs is kind of a drug. And the place where he is in was actually just above a dump yard. If he comes out of his room, there was a garbage thing. But in his room, he maintained high ethics of sanctity, cleanliness, everything. And he had established an altar. And he used to take classes over there. Right? The first temple, official temple, what he establishes is a shop which he acquires, and the temple's name is there over there, is called as Matchless Gifts. Right? Anybody has visited Matchless Gifts? Yeah, I have. I'm asking you guys, not me. So, yes, I guess those who are devotees of or disciples of Srila Prabhupada, one of the pilgrimage places is to go to Matchless Gifts. Right? I did had a chance to go in May, and when I went in May, I made sure I went to this particular place called Matchless Gifts, and as soon as I entered, I was taken aback. I had little bit tears in my eyes. The reason is, it's not like this big. The entire place may be half of this, like this much, and this much, this big. That's all. And it will hardly, if 40 people can sit, very crampedly, like sitting next to next. And Prabhupada used to take lectures over there, and people, celebrities used to come over there to listen what Prabhupada was saying. Right? Even before he could get this, he didn't know what to do. He never knew anybody in New York also. What he does, he goes to one Tompkinson's Park, and there is a tree over there, what you can see over there. And over there he goes and he starts doing kirtan. He just closes his eyes. He has a couple of his followers, not even officially disciples, and he sits and he just sings his heart out, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and he closes his eyes. He just thinks, Krishna, why you have sent me here? I have been trying my best. I am not getting any people who can attach. I don't know what I will do, but I will just surrender unto you. He chants. 3 hours he sings, and once he opens up 3 hours, there are so many people surrounding him. And he goes back from this place, and all of these people start following him. Right? And eventually, lot of people who are actually hippies, who are drug addicts, etc., everybody start appreciating the personality of Prabhupada. The reason was he was so caring. You know, just imagine if you enter a temple, you are a drug addict, you are stinking. You know, you would say, okay, please go out. You know, Prabhupada used to say, please come, sit, have prasad. Right? There was one story, like when he was giving, there was a pastime where he was giving a lecture in the matchless gifts, and there is one drug addict who comes, or a shabby person who comes. He goes, like Prabhupada is sitting over here, he comes through this. Prabhupada just keeps giving the lecture. This shabby person goes to a toilet next door. He takes a roll of toilet roll. He comes and he gives to Prabhupada. Prabhupada accepts with his 2 feet, you know, and says thanks a lot. And he tells a line, says, this is a natural tendency of a soul is to serve. And this person is serving me. And I am very thankful for him. Right? So just imagine a personality sitting and giving a lecture, somebody comes and like this. You would say, oh, take him out, take him out. But Prabhupada, nowhere he's seeing the shabby things, he's not seeing the dirty things as the person. He's just saying that one quality of him, that person, where he's trying to serve him in his own way. And he's appreciating that person. So like this, there were thousands and thousands of pastimes where thousands and thousands of disciples were touched by Prabhupada's act of being careful and being very intimate with them, being caring with them, and always being a person to support them for the growth in their spiritual lives. And this is one example of that situation where Srila Prabhupada, after establishing the matchless gift temple, there will be one occasion where he is celebrating Janmashtami, right? I guess it's Janmashtami or some other festival. So what happens is, nobody over there doesn't know how to perform Janmashtami. So he arranges, he gives specifications, etc. You need to follow this, you need to prepare like this, everything. He arranges all sorts of offerings. It's a very tiring day, etc. And 2 days later, he arranges a wedding of his disciples. Right? The greatness is, as a sannyasi, you are not supposed to organize weddings. Right? The sannyasi's responsibility is to give out the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Right? So if you ask any sannyasis in India and you go ask them without the knowledge, can you come and conduct me my wedding? If the sannyasi says, no, we are not supposed to do, okay, the general attitude is we can understand and we go to a Purohit and get it done. But these disciples of Srila Prabhupada were very sincere. They were able to give everything for Srila Prabhupada. They used to go drive taxis, and whatever money is left, they used to give to Prabhupada. They used to do their day jobs, come back, whatever money is there, they used to give it for Prabhupada. So these devotees wanted to get, disciples wanted to get married, and Srila Prabhupada says that even though I am a sannyasi, I am not supposed to conduct a marriage. But since you want to develop your marriage in Krishna consciousness, I am going to get you marriage done. And he does this marriage so wonderfully that he goes by Shastric principles and he says what mantras the bride has to recite, what mantras the bridegroom has to recite, etc. But the best part over here is the bride and the bridegroom never knew what was the preparation done. Right? So Prabhupada gives them the dress, the bridegroom is given by the nice, the bride is given by the sari, red sari, etc. And on the day of marriage, when they come and see, they are astonished to see that Prabhupada single-handedly, along with some help, he has prepared so many offerings. Sweets, rice, kachoris, all these things, just to make his disciples' wedding memorable. Single-handedly. So this was the nature of Srila Prabhupada in taking care of his disciples. Another 2 slides from I'll be done.
That's fine. It's wonderful.
So, whoever has seen Prabhupada, how he has been, many people say Prabhupada was very strict, but most of the disciples say he was very generous, he was magnanimous. At the same time, externally, when people who are not able to link with them would say Prabhupada was very grave person, right? In fact, he was very grave. He knew how to behave when and whom to give respect and when, right? He never believed in giving unnecessary respect. At the same time, he gave respect to all to the way they were supposed to be given, right? So one example over here is a very nice picture. Prabhupada goes to Paris, okay, and his all devotees, these disciples, organize a short meeting with Deputy Mayor of Paris, right? So what happens is Prabhupada is taken into the Deputy Mayor's room. It's a big place. So he's made seated, what you can see over there. He's made seated in the guest chair. And aside of this, next to this, there were huge number of people gathering, right? So the person who is standing is a mayor. And when the mayor enters the room, everybody who have gathered in the room stand up and bow their head. Prabhupada is sitting like this. And his disciple says, Prabhupada, you are supposed to get up and bow down your head. And he says, bow down what? And his disciple understands and he sits down. This mayor who is walking towards the stage, he sees everybody standing, bowing down their head. He sees this side, Prabhupada is sitting with his nice garland, as you can see from the thing. And his disciples curiously don't know how to behave, they're like a little bit anxious. But Prabhupada is sitting in nice posture. And he has an eye contact with his mayor, and mayor goes. And the mayor goes talking on the podium. And then the mayor invites Srila Prabhupada and asks him to give a talk. And there is a short talk given by Srila Prabhupada. And in the talk, Srila Prabhupada says the greatness of Lord Sri Krishna. Right? He explains what is the position of the soul, what is the position of the Bhagavan, and he, as a disciple of Lord Sri Krishna, bows to only Lord Krishna. Right? So when he made this statement, it was a straightforward lesson or an instruction to his devotees or to his disciples as well as other people to understand what is the exact role of a devotee. We should not be bowing down simply for each other's. You may have a prime minister or a cinema star coming and you are not bowing over them and saying, okay, it's not a humility or something like that. We need to bow down to Vaishnavas and most importantly Lord Krishna. Right? So this was a wonderful, straightforward, at a grave, presentation of how devotees needs to behave. This is last but one slide. Prabhupada, as I said, was very, very affectionate. He was taking care of all his disciples. At the same time, he was very expert in many things. He used to sing. As I said, he drafted or composed a poem on Jaladuta. He used to train his disciples in different place where how to play mridangam, how to play kartals, etc. All those things. The most important thing what Prabhupada does is how to treat devotees. So there was one occasion where Prabhupada was observing his Guru Maharaj Vyāsa Pūja. Just like how we are observing now Prabhupada's Vyāsa Pūja, he was observing his Guru Maharaj Vyāsa Pūja. So during that time, everybody thought that the program would start at 6 o'clock in the evening, right? But some Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he goes and he says to Prabhupada, okay, what time we are starting, Prabhupada? He points his finger and says, 12 noon, right? And Tamal Krishna Maharaj says, it's already 10:30, Prabhupada. Oh, and we are not prepared anything. And I understand you already invited guests. And we thought it was at 6 p.m. So Prabhupada sees Tamal Krishna Maharaj. He doesn't say a single word. He gets up. He goes to the kitchen. He prepares 12 courses of meal in span of 1 hour. And for 70 people. Right? Those who are into cooking know how hard it is to prepare 3 courses of meal for 70 people, if at least not wait for 10 people. But Prabhupada cooked for 70 people in 1 hour for a 12-course meal. Right? And the best part of this is, when he was served, he had very few offerings. He did not eat up to his neck. He was very content. Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj says that Prabhupada used to consume only if he has appetite. If not, he never bothered to eat. Right? So, at the same time, he was so magnanimous that he wanted every person sitting in the temple room to be fed to the best. He used to go individually serve. Ek aur jamun, chapati, rice. So he was magnanimous. So in this way, Prabhupada was skillful in cooking, skillful in singing, was an expert person in Shastras, he was magnanimous, he was careful, he was very caring. He had no material possessions. If I said, when he came to America, he had about $8 worth of cash. He didn't have anything. He was very sincere, steady, and he was caring everyone. The reason I am trying to point out all these things, if you see all the slides which I have prepared, there is a number over there on top. 3, 10, 15, 18, 25. Like this 9, 10, 21, 12, 24, 20, 24. The reason is, in Sri Krishnadasa Kaviraj Goswami, who is an author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, he details what are the 26 qualities an individual devotee needs to have. Right? So he lists all these things. I'll just read out the list and I can end afterwards. He says the first quality is he is very kind to everyone. He does not make anyone his enemy. He is truthful. He is equal to everyone. No one can find any fault in him. He is magnanimous. He is mild. He is always clean. He is without possessions. He works for everyone's benefit. He is very peaceful. He is always surrendered to Krishna. He has no material desires. He is very meek. He is steady. He controls his senses. He does not eat more than required. He is not influenced by Lord's illusionary energy. He offers respect to everyone. He does not desire any respect for himself. He is very grave. He is merciful. He is friendly. He is poetic. He is expert. And he is silent. So in Srila Prabhupada's life, all his pastimes suggest how all these qualities can be exhibited to the fullest of quantities. So that's why we can say he possessed all these 26 qualities of a pure devotee in fullest. Just like how Lord Sri Krishna possesses 64 qualities in full, same way Srila Prabhupada possesses these 26 qualities of being a devotee in full. So that's saying I will end over here. There are so many things we can discuss about Prabhupada. Now, I guess all the devotees have their own glorifications, if I'm right. So, with that, we'll say, I will say Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Strange Shravan Krishna Prabhu ki Jai.